Yo, what is going on? Yo, I'm sorry for the glare, you just have to deal with it. I don't know what else to tell you. The reason for this basement podcast is to, do something that I enjoy doing. Oh my goodness. We're already starting off good. So basically what this is about is mainly UFC. I'm going to probably be more mainly UFC based. It's usually what I watch. I don't really watch PFL or any of the Bellator or nothing like that. It's mainly just UFC. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going to the rules of MMA. Kind of like the main rules of weight classes, judges, refereeing, fouls. We're going to do another video specifically for fouls and go into detail and about them. If this video gets a little bit too long, I might have to cut it off and do another one for judges alone as well. There's a few things I got to get touched up on that, so I think that's going to be another video anyway. This is just going to be kind of a glance overview of everything that we are going to be looking at today. So without further ado, let's take a look here. So this is off of UFC.com. The links are down below. If I didn't put them down below, I'm terribly sorry. I'll put them in the next one. This is from UFC. Somewhere in the back pages I was able to find. Basically, it is the unified rules of mixed martial arts. So what they do here is basically, here's the definition: unarmed combat. So no weapons, just hands, feet, body only. So the weight divisions here. So the weight divisions, flyweight, bantam, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. UFC does not have super heavyweight. They might be able to, but I think it's still a good thing to just leave it at heavyweight. So it says here, except with the approval of the commission or its executive director, classes of mixed martial arts or contest exhibits a weight for each class should be. So basically, flyweight's 125 pounds. You get like a plus or, non-championship fights, there should be allowed a 1 pound weight allowance. So that right there is pretty good. I think the reason mainly for this is because, certain scales are calibrated differently, so you can have technically 2 pounds, right? Higher or lower, but a 1 pound is pretty good to be close to exact. You see how it's laid out here as far as the bantam. Bantamweight is over 125 to 135. So what they have done is basically 125, 126 and below, right? So to 125, 4 or 126. Sorry, my bad. 127. This could be the lowest you can go, basically, before you max out at flyweight. So it's on the lower side of here. 146 is going to be the highest for featherweight. 156, 176, 170, 186, 206, so on and so forth. I think you guys get the picture. So that there kind of just breaks it down slightly in detail-ish. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. As far as weights go. So again, it's that 1 pound that is allowed above the weight. You guys can have catch weight bouts. So this has kind of happened, a couple months ago. I think it was Diego Lopez and Dan Ige. That was the catch weight. They were going to do another catch weight with Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega, but Ortega fell sick. So, yeah. And then here, this is kind of interesting. If one of the athletes weighs 264 while the opponent weighs 267, the commission may still decide to allow the contest. In reality, that's not that much. 3 pounds ain't that big of a difference. There's on fight day, there's gonna be some fighters have like 5 to 10 different difference in weight. So the ring fighting requirements. I don't really want to get into too much about this stuff. I was just kind of going to go over a little bit. With that being said, what we're going to do is look it over. So basically what we're looking at is the ring can be no smaller than 20 feet, right? And no smaller than 20 feet square, and no bigger than 32 feet square within the ropes, aka the octagon, the fence, whatever you want to call it. Every corner has a designated quarter, so UFC is red and blue. Ring floor, this is actually an interesting one to me. The ring floor must extend at least 18 inches beyond the ropes, which in reality is probably a really good thing, because if that fence happens to break, that's just, it's not a lot, but it is enough for the most of it. That the fence is going to slow you down a lot. So, good almost 2 feet there of buffer and protection if you happen to fall through. So I didn't really want to go about, 4 feet above the floor. Make sure it's all stable. Yeah. The rope ring post must be made of metal, no more than 3 inches in diameter. Again, I didn't really want to go into this too much. Nothing too exciting about the ring, right? So we're going to kind of skip down. The fenced area must have two entrances, which would be good. Stools. I'm not going to get too much in this one either. This is, I don't know. It's basically a chair you sit on. It's just got to be approved by the commission. You got to wipe it down. Make sure it's sturdy. That's pretty much about it. Equipment. So promoters should provide clean water bucket, clean plastic bottle, and any of the supplies, which basically the coaches have when they go in during the end of the round. Specifications for hand wrapping. I'm not going to go too much into that either. The gauze cloth, not more than 15 yards in length and 2 inches in width, must be held by surgeon's tape, which is about 10 feet. No more than 10 feet. Gotta wrap the fingers, the wrists. Yeah. Some of the stuff I'm not really getting into. I really want to go more into what the judges and the refs and the fighters got to go through. Even though these rules are all pretty good. If y'all want to read this alone, you can pause the video. Don't forget to subscribe. So mouthpieces, as you see, pretty sure every entertainment has mouthpieces except WWE. So with that being said, you gotta wear one. And then it says right here, if the mouthpiece is voluntarily dislodged during the competition, the referee shall call time to clean the mouthpiece, reinsert the mouthpiece at the first opportune moment without interfering with the immediate action. So basically that means this happened to Bisping. I can't remember who was fighting, but his mouthpiece got knocked out. They kind of separated. The one guy kind of rushed, even though I don't want to throw Herb Dean under the bus, but I think it was Herb Dean reffing. He kind of sat there, watched, and Bisping pointed at his mouthpiece. Is like, hey, here's it. And I think he got knocked out because of it. So it's just an unfortunate situation. They were broken up for a couple seconds before, but fighting, there's so many things so many minute things, so many milliseconds that just decision making. Protective equipment. Whoa, zoomed in. Man, I should have done that earlier. Groin protection from wearing groin protectors. You got whatever. Yeah, I gotta go with that. Gloves, 4 ounces. In general, should not weigh more than 6 ounces without the approval of the commission. So 2X and 4XL may be allowed, even though they may slightly exceed 6 ounces. So that's basically for the size of the fish, right? So the flyweight guys are not going to be wearing the same as the heavyweight guys, right? So the flyweight guys are probably more going to be 4 ounces. The heavyweight are going to be closer to 6. That being said, we're going to go back down to apparel. Mixed martial arts shorts, board shorts, bucket shorts, kickboxing shorts are approved, whatever they want, right? No gi. Gi shirts are prohibited. Shoes of any kind can't be worn, but you can wrap it your ankles, your feet. Appearance, yeah, make sure you're nice and tidy. An excessive usage of grease. So I know that a lot of people have accusations of when people have long hair, they braid their hair and they put grease in it. Technically a little bit, but also a lot of hairspray. So I mean, hairspray does not get greasy necessarily, more sticky. I guess until you do start to sweat, but normally you don't really use a lot of hairspray for that. So blah blah blah, you know, yeah, you can't wear any jewelry or nothing like that. Round length, so non-championships in mixed martial arts to be 3 rounds, no more than 5 minutes, with a rest period of 1 minute in between each round. Okay, here's the thing, right? So me and my buddy had this big debate of, is it a minute or is it 30 seconds? Finally broke it down. The second that bell rings for the end of the round, the timer starts. The coaches have 30 seconds to talk to their fighter. By the time they get out of the ring, it's been just about a minute, or just over a minute. So they do have a minute, even though it doesn't seem like it might be a minute, because you're talking to the coaches, you're going through both of them. They get 30 seconds, and all the events in between. I don't know why my camera's doing this, I'm so sorry. But all the events in between. That's gonna piss me off. All the events in between of that bell, before the coach is talking and after the coach is talking, is about another 30 seconds, sometimes even more. So, if you're coach, you're kind of sneaky about it, you kind of slowly walk off, right? Give your fighter a couple extra seconds. And each championship, each championship mixed martial arts contest is to be for 5 rounds, no more than 5 minute duration, again with the rest period of 1 minute between each round. Stopping the contest. The referee is sole arbiter of a contest and is the only individual authorized to stop a contest. The referee may take advice from the ringside physician and or commission with respect to the decision to stop a contest, right? So, I mean, I don't think that really happens a lot. I think it's more like when a fighter gets injured mid-round, or if they're like get poked in the eye or something like that, then it usually, it's up to the fighter. They always ask the fighter, but they got to pass that test, right? So with that judging, so this is kind of one I don't know if I want to do another video on this yet or not. I have been debating about it though, because I got heated one day about all this BS, right? So what we're going to be doing is breaking down the judging. I might do another video, go into more details, but this is kind of pretty detailed as is, so we'll just see. And maybe I'll just go ramble on. So let's get to it. All the bouts will be evaluated and scored by three judges, who shall evaluate the contest from different location around the ring fighting area. The referee may not be one of the 3 judges, which is a very good thing, because refereeing, they have to be on the spot, keeping the fighter safe, and if they're distracted by trying to score the fight, something bad could happen. So the 10-point must system will be a standard system of scoring a bout. Under the 10-point must scoring system, the 10 points must be awarded to the winner of the round, and 9 points or less must be awarded to the loser, except for the rare even round, which is scored a 10-10. So I think it was what's her name, Shevchenko and Grasso. I think they did a draw, which ended up being 10-10-10, right? Or it might have been 5-10s, I can't remember. I do have a slight problem with this scoring system. It is pretty decent, but there are some things that need to be developed to make it better. So judges evaluate mixed martial arts techniques such as different striking, effective grappling, control of the ring fighting area, effective aggressiveness, and defense. So this right here, right? This whole block right here. This whole block right here is something that I am very, or have gotten very upset about. So, effective striking, effective grappling. Let's start there. Let's start with this effective striking. So, with effective striking, it is going to be damage, punches, kicks, knees, elbows, all that hit, right? Should be hit. Usually when you're watching the UFC, they have the percentage, right? Like, 67 strikes hit out of 177, right? Unfortunately, from certain angles, it looks like the fighter gets hit, even though he doesn't. Or the fighter will roll with the punches, and when they roll, sometimes they miss, right? So they'll count strikes that shouldn't be there. But again, it's all the different angles. That's why I have 3 different judges on different areas of the ring. So effective grappling. Now this one right here is, I understand it is mixed martial arts, but it is the most boring thing to watch. Effective unless this is 2 very good grapplers, they're scrambling, trying to get back up on their feet, trying to escape, or trying to do a submission, or do ground and pound, right? There's a bunch of things they can be doing, but a lot of them just kind of sit there and hold them down. Well, not a lot of them, just a few of them. Let's take fucking, what's his name? Marab. Very, very extremely high level grappler, but he doesn't do anything with it. So unfortunately, I think that gets pointed higher than what it should. In some instances, like with the control time, right? I think those 2 things need to get less. Instead of giving him a point for grappling or takedowns, then they just hold him on the ground and give him a point for that. No, if it's effective takedown, effective grapple, effective movement, just keep going. There are a lot of high-level grapplers in the UFC, so it is extremely hard. I wrestled in high school. I'm not good at all, but I do understand how hard it is to get out of certain positions. Okay, so you got to give him that too. You got to give the other guy the benefit of the doubt of, hey, he might be stronger, he might be this, he might be that. But if you have a guy that they are just consistently fighting each other on the ground, fighting wrists, nothing happening, no movement, maybe half a point. Maybe. Half a point to 0 points. I'll give you the perfect example. Derek Lewis versus I can't remember his first name, but Almeida. 3 rounds for basically 5 minutes. It might have been even 5 rounds. It might have been a main event. Whatever it was, I actually think it was 5 rounds. The dude had the record was 24 minutes and 17 seconds of control time. The ref was not good in that. He said, we need to see movement, 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 we need to see movement. Did nothing about it. Didn't stand him up or nothing. Which, usually after the 2nd or 3rd time, it's, okay, break, stand him up. Right? Control of the ring. We'll move on. I'll get all heated about that. So control of the ring, fighting area, right? So usually basically the person in the center has control of the ring. Sometimes, it's different when the guy on the outside's running around the ring, kind of throwing jabs, repositioning, throwing jabs, repositioning. But usually the person in the center of the ring is controlling the fight. The effective aggressiveness and defense. So this is basically who's pushing forward, who's defending the most, who's getting them against the fence, who can reposition, get them against the fence, and all that stuff, right? So, with that being said, let's move on to this next one. So, evaluations must be made in order to, of which technique appears above, given most weight and scoring, effective striking, blah, blah, blah. I think I just went over that. Yep. Effective strike judged by consent. Effective grappling judged by executions, takedowns, reversals. Yep, same thing I just talked about. Fighting control, yeah, so I basically just went all over this. Moving forward, landing legal strikes. Defensive, taken down, reverse while countering with the offensive. Yep. So the following objective scoring criteria shall be utilized when Georgia's scorecard around. A round is to be scored at 10-10 when both contestants appear to be fighting evenly and neither contestant shows clear dominance in a round. A round should be scored 10-9 when one is landing a greater number of strikes or grappling or other maneuvers. A round to be scored 10-8 when it's just pretty much dominant, right? Pretty dominant. 10-7, which is really rare. I mean, 10-8 is pretty rare, but it's more common now. Not even now, but it was more common a little bit back a few years ago. 10-7 is extremely rare now. Just completely just as dominating the fight. The other dude can't do nothing about it. The judges use a sliding scale to recognize the length of time. The findings are either standing on or on the ground. So if mixed martial arts spend the majority of the round on the canvas, then effective grappling is weighed first, and effective striking is then weighed. Again, this is a small problem I have. I shouldn't highlight that. I should highlight this. Effective, right? Effective grappling. Effective. If you're just holding someone down, that's not effective, because the other dude is effectively defending you, right? And then it's going to be the opposite, right? If you're standing up, mainly striking. So, let's see here. So fouls. So this one I'm going to do a whole nother video alone on, because these are, I mean, there's what, 24, 20, 31 of them. Yeah, so we're just going to go through, kind of just glance at them, and then I'll make a separate video about all these kind of broken down, right? So butting in the head, yep, eye gouging of any kind, biting, spitting, hair pulling, fish hooking. So fish hooking, I'll explain that one real quick. It's basically taking your hand, hooking like a fish. Groin attacks, striking down, using the point of the Edward. So this one, this one here changed recently. So this one here is so this is like a 12 to 6. Boom. Use the elbow. You're able to do that now. Yep, striking the spine or back of the head. You can't. Kicking to the kidney with the heel. Yeah. So that's fair. I mean, it's might happen by accident, but let's see. So throw strikes, of course, clawing, yeah, grabbing the clavicle. Woo, yes sir. Kicking the head of a grounded opponent, kneeing the head of a grounded opponent. So these two here. I don't know. These two here we gotta figure out. So kicking the head to the grounded opponent, I understand that. Dude, a soccer kick. I played soccer for 24 years. 23 years. Anyway, soccer ball. There is going to be significant damage. More damage done if you're able to soccer kick them on the ground. Kneeing to the head of a grounded opponent. I guess if it's to the side of the head, I don't know. Like that one doesn't make sense, because then at that point it's like, why are you able to knee him standing up even though it's on the forehead? What if they're face towards you? Can you knee him? Usually hit him on the forehead to jaw the face, right? Because that's what you're trying to do, is knock him out. Again, someone understand. Stomping a grounded opponent, this ain't a street fight. Holding on the fence. There's been so many of these that have gotten away, of people being able to hold on to the fence and stopping the fight, right? Not even stopping the fight, but changing the outcome. That's the word I'm trying to find. Holding on the shorts or gloves of the opponent. So holding on the gloves of an opponent, usually people will hold on the wrist of the glove. You just can't put your fingers inside the glove. Using abusive language in the fence ring fighting area. I think this one's more of a lenient one because there's things can get heated. If things get too much out of hand, usually people get fined, but it ain't too much. So, engaging in unsportsmanlike conduct that causes injury to an opponent. So, that might just be excessive. I wouldn't say if you're excessively doing that, right? Because if you're trying to submit someone and having them in an armbar, if they're not just going to tap, something might happen, right? Attacking an opponent during a break, it's fair. Attacking an opponent who is under the care of a referee, yep. Attacking an opponent from the bell has sounded at their end of the round. Yeah, this one here I had an issue a little bit with Kamzat against Burns. He kind of was still fighting after the bell rang. Burns kicked him off and he came out and fought him again, even though the ref was there. So things like that happen. I'm not too much about it. Worried about it too much. Usually people are very respectful. Basically, what this is saying. Basically, what that says, right? Basically, what that says. Don't be a bitch. Throwing opponent out of the ring / fighting area, which I think would be kind of funny to see. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be pretty funny to see. It would be. It really would be, right? Flagrantly disregarding instructions, spiking opponent. So this happens, unfortunately. It happens. Let's take Bilal and what's his name, for example, Edwards, for an example like that. Bilal definitely didn't mean to do that. I'm not a Bilal fan. I'm not a Bilal fan. I don't like the guy. I think he's a boring fighter. But again, if the person you're fighting is trying to get out, trying to like maneuver, just the way his body was, just spiked him. It's very unfortunate, but an accident, nothing happened, right? Interference by the corner. So this one here, but we need to talk about this, alright? Interference by the corner. Shigashan's coach has been getting a lot of heat for going, go now, Aljo. Go now. Is that interference by the corner? Yes. But here's where I have to decide. How long have you been training with your coach? Playing soccer for 24 years. I had the same coach for about 16 of those years. I know my coach's voice. Out of anybody in the crowd. I know my coach's voice. If I heard someone else say my name, that's going straight through and I'm not going to think about it. If it ain't my coach or isn't one of my teammates, that's all I'm going to say about that situation. Applying forward substance to the hair or body to gain advantage. So basically grease and all that stuff. Grease, stuff in the gloves, whatever. Disqualification may occur when any combat of fouls or a flagrant foul is at the discretion of the referee. Fouls may result in point deducted. The official scorekeeper, the scorekeepers, not the judges, will be responsible for calculating a true score after the point deduction. This one right here, I have a huge huge problem with, okay? So this one right here. Only a referee can assess the foul. If the referee does not call the foul, judges must not take that assessment into their own and should not factor such into the scoring calculations. I think this is one of the biggest bullshit rules for judges. If a referee misses a foul and you catch it, you should be able to dock it, right? Let's take a couple weeks ago. I can't even remember the fighter's name. I think it was 4 or 5 eye pokes and 2 groin shots. 3 or 4 of the eye pokes didn't get called. 1 of the groin shots didn't get called. No point deductions. Granted, some of that is on the ref. I do agree. But at the same time, that is a perfect example of why this rule is bullshit. If you're a judge and you see that, I think you should be able to dock a point if you want. I get like 1, maybe 2, you know. There's like, ah, shit, I got him. And then the guy that just got gets him back, you know. It's just like a payment, you know. Even Stevens. Maybe a second time. But again, once, yeah, right? Second time, iffy. So we'll move on. If a foul is committed, the referee should call a timeout. The referee shall order offending off. Oh my goodness. The referee shall order the offending contestant to a neutral location. So basically, they go to each other's corner, right? Or pretty much the opposite side. The referee shall check the foul contestant's condition and safety. The referee shall assess the foul and offering the contestant deduct points if the referee deemed appropriate. Notify the commission, coroner's official scorekeeper of the decision, right? And this is kind of the part where like the physicians come in, doctors, whatever, come in, check on them and stuff like that as well. Yeah. See, if a bottom contestant commits a foul, unless the cop contestant. Oh, 1 second. Let's rewind that, right? If a foul, actually, I'm gonna do this one right here. If a foul is committed, right? All this stuff happens. You know what? I'm gonna save that for another video. The referee will verbally notify the bottom contestant of the foul. When the round is over, the referee will assess the foul. Same thing. They should lose a point or not, right? Usually they'll stop it and put him in the right position, like get him separated and then put him in that position again. Low blow foul. Alright, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get it on this one. I forgot this one was in here. A fighter who has been struck with the low blow is allowed up to 5 minutes to recover from the foul as long as the ringside doctor's opinion. The fighter may possibly continue in a contest. I have the perfect 110% the perfect example. Let's take Jamal Hill and Alex Pereira. Okay? I'm gonna make a separate video on this fight alone because of all the BS that people have been talking about, okay? Jamal Hill committed an illegal strike. Alex Pereira is not a bitch. Before timeout got called, he took his 2 steps. Okay? Waved him off. Nah, I'm good. It's like, alright, you sure? They touch gloves. Jamal Hill throws the first punch, misses. And Alex Pereira knocks him out. Okay? Perfect example. I'm going to go through a whole nother video about that fight because it is... I don't understand anybody defending Jamal Hill whatsoever. Right? Let's continue. So yeah, 5 minutes is pretty much standard between any injury or any foul. Any foul. You usually get a 5 minute. Blah blah blah. No comeback with foul. Say continue or not. And if they're not able to, usually it's if it was accidental, they usually do. Sometimes they do TKO, sometimes they do no contest, sometimes it's all up in the air. I need to go through and figure all that out because or disqualification, right? So unfortunately, I think there's more no contest than there are for disqualifications. When there should be more disqualifications, you should be punished for committing fouls. And Jamal Hill did. The ultimate one, getting knocked out. For foul other than Lobo, injured fighter may deem not fit to continue. The referee must continue by halt. Everybody's got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. If they exceed the 5 minutes, the fighter can't be started and the contest must end. Correct. Injury sustained by fair blows and fouls. It's a technical knockout, right? So if they get hurt, say break an arm, dislocate something, break a toe, break a hand, break a wrist, whatever, right? It's a TKO. They're not laying on the ground unconscious. They are still conscious, just unable to fight. If it's intentional, again, there it is. Lost by disqualification. Okay, yeah, same thing. If an injury is sustained, if it's intentional, it's an automatic 2 points deducted, which I don't think I've seen ever. Usually they get 1. Let's see. If an injury sustained during a competition as a result of an intentional foul is determined by the referee causes an injured contestant to be unable to continue, blah blah blah, the injured contestant shall win by technical decision if he or she is ahead on the scorecard. If the injured contestant is even or behind the scorecard at the time of stoppage, the outcome of the bout shall be declared a technical draw. So basically what that is saying is if someone's getting the shit beat out of them, they get injured, the person that's getting the shit beat out of them, they have to make it a draw, a technical draw. So this one sucks right here. Oh no, sorry. I jumped ahead. I think I jumped ahead, sorry. Contestant injured him or herself by attempting to foul his or her opponent. The referee shall take not any action in his or her favor, and the injury shall be treated the same manner as the injury protected by the fair blow. So basically, if you're trying to purposely injure your opponent, and you fuck yourself up, that's on you. Fight continues. So if an injury sustained during this competition as a result of an accidental foul, as determined by the referee, is severe enough for the referee to stop the bout immediately, the bout shall result in a no contest. So this is usually what happens when stuff like that happens, is a no contest. But I do think that they need to do more of the disqualifications. Because here's the thing, you're fighting somebody, yeah, you might be on good terms, but if you've ever been punched in the face before, there's a few type of people, right? There's the ones that run away. Usually the people that are in the ring are the crazy ones that get pissed off when they get hit in the face. So that friendly fight of who's better, who's going to win, who's more blah blah blah, right? Kind of, it goes out the window just a little bit, and usually fouls are kind of on purpose because the person that wants to commit the foul accidentally is pissed off and wants to win. Let's see, it shall be a technical decision. Awarded by context, it was a head and scorecard, and this time bout start only when the bout start by 2 rounds, or 3 bout, or whatever. So, I didn't really go into much of an injury without the fouls, but there was a recent one of, oh man, I just drawing a blank. 308. Dude came back after an ACL tear and a bunch of problems, and I don't think it healed up all the way, so he injured himself during the introductions. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to fight at all, which was very disappointing. Incomplete rounds should be scored utilizing the same criteria of scoring the other rounds up to this point, so the incomplete round is stopped. So this is another weird one that's kind of difficult to think about, because you got to do a 10-point system no matter what. So if there's like nothing happened, it's going to go basically kind of more towards the ring control. So who's been more aggressive, who's been pushing forward, who's been attempting more strikes, right? That's kind of what's going to happen. But types of contest results: submission by physical or verbal tap out, knockout. When the referee stops the contest, it's a TKO. It's a technical knockout because they're not really knocked out. They're technically knocked out because they can't fight if they get injured, technically, or they're just getting the shit beat out of them and the refs have seen enough. So that's technically, they usually mark those like KOs, but TKOs. But yeah, anyway, yep, there it is right there. Contestants being rendered unconscious during strikes or kicks, KO. Decision via scorecards. Unanimous is basically all three judges score the contest the same. Split decision is when two judges score it the same and one does not for the other opponent, right? Majority decision when two judges scorecard contest for the same contestant and one judge scores the draw. So basically those two are the same, just with very minute scores, right? Draws including unanimous draw when all score the contest draw. Majority draw is when two of them score it, and split draw when not all three judges score differently. See disqualifications, forfeit, technical. It's no decision, right? So those are a bunch of other random ones there. So let's see here. I wanted to just talk about something I totally forgot about. But that's here we go. Let's go back to this. Oh, it's not listed here. I got it pulled up somewhere else. Give me 1 second to find it. All right, you guys want to enjoy some music while we're waiting for me to pull this up? Alright, so I gotta pull it up. So basically this is kind of a brief look at the scorecard of per judge, right? So we took Aljamain Sterling for example. Sterling won by split decision. So again, it is one of those things where since they are all spread around and not in a row, they get to see different points of views, and that's why I get kind of the close or split decisions and all that stuff for the fights. One main thing I wanted to get through, so yeah, there's more of that, is this bias thing right here. Let me get down to it real quick. Is UFC or MMA scoring subjective? Yes. Short answer. What judging biases come to the UFC scoring, right? So you got the home ground bias. This right here is what I want to talk about, especially for a close fight, right? So what? This is one of the groundedmma.com UFC scoring system is where I got this from. It was extremely hard to find. There was nobody that wanted to talk about it, and it was there 100% is biased to this, right? So home ground bias, the fighter comes home on home soil, has the support of the crowd, and therefore is viewed more positively. So the spectators have a poll that can sway the judges, right? The champion bias, for the champions, there's an aura around them. There's an unwritten rule as a challenger. They have to do more to get the belt. So the champion, you already have the higher status. You already have the view of, oh, he's already going to win. And usually if it's very close, they're probably going to pick the champion, being that he has that about the wins behind him, the belt behind him and all that, right? So then the legends, right? So the fighter that has a name and a long career in the UFC and therefore viewed more favorably. Unfortunately for although it was a split decision against Batista, Batista ended up winning. Personally, that's another one I gotta go through, but when I was watching it, I thought Batista very slightly edged out Jose. But again, there's that legend bias, right? That everybody's like, oh, you got robbed. So again, it's extremely hard to take emotions out of fighting, but if you're able to do that more, things start to clear up and it makes more sense. Visible damage bias. So too much emphasis can be put on visible blood, which doesn't always demonstrate effective strikes, but more so how some fighters are more generally predisposed to bleeding than others. At the same point, I do understand this, but at the same point, visible blood sometimes means they got hit really freaking hard, right? Also, with this visible blood, too much emphasis. I think that happens way too much. Not only you're supposed to do that round by round, and I think the fact that if a cut gets reopened, I think some judges count that, right? They count that as another damage, right? Which is very, very, very unfortunate. I think there's been plenty of fights that have gone the other way than what it should have, because that's what they counted was all of the visual damage. So with that being said, we're going to get rid of that one. There's a couple other things we could look at. Here are the websites. I should probably throw these down. We'll get onto that later. So with that being said, that's my background. Hope you guys don't mind it. Those are some of the rules. Those are all the rules. Those are basically everything that goes through it. Now, if you really want to, I can go through. Maybe we'll do this real quick. We'll do this real quick. Give me 1 second to pull this up as well. Oh my god. Y'all didn't tell me. Yo, I've been rambling for like 12 minutes. On mute. We're gonna speed through this, alright? Alright. Basically, trainer, judges. Everybody has the code of conduct, conflict of interest, handling medical, media issues, socializing with fighters. Pretty much, I mean, these are mainly for the trainers, right? Yeah, 5 years. So these right here, pretty much the same for judges, referees, and trainers. Right? So pre-fight duties, these are referees. This contains to the referees. So these pre-fight duties, literally the seconds right before they get into the cage, check the nails, get them Vaselined up, check their mouthpiece, make sure they got the proper hand wraps, make sure they got the right gloves, make sure they got a cup, all that stuff, right? Okay, cool. Keep going. Helps make sure that everybody's healthy and safe, right? Cage cleaning it, so water or blood at the end of the match, go mop it up, clean it up, dry it up as fast as they can, because the next person's probably coming out. I can't believe I did this, dude. Checking on fighters and making theory, blah blah blah. Doing the bout, issue touching gloves. So basically, what I was saying was, some of the fights that are really, really interesting are the ones that they don't touch gloves on. They could be go on either the distance, could be a really quick knockout. Because usually they both hate each other. Let's see, proper positioning. I was just saying about there could be blitz, so if you're in the wrong position, you could screw up the fight by being in the wrong position. So you always got to be on your toes. That being said, let's keep going. Replacing a mouthpiece, let's say this. I don't put this, but let's do this. Replacing a mouthpiece, I mean, that's going to be the hardest part is trying to find that perfect time where you both separate. So basically what it is the guy that lost the mouthpiece, you just got to run away as fast as you can, break it up, right? Okay, so usually some of them just like to fight, but you should probably run away, get that mouthpiece back in. I didn't really go over anything like that. Handling a fighter into submission who isn't tapping, so freaking sucks, but usually what you do is you pull the other guy's arm off and you give them what they've been doing, right? Let's see. I did a whole thing about this unconscious or injured fighter. I did mainly unconscious, about how people are more respectful. They like to help after they get knocked out. Anyway, let's keep going. So here's the judge training, 5 years, blah blah blah. Code of conduct, same thing. Discussing scoring fights with others. Okay, proper appearance, all this stuff. Okay, 10 round was a 10 or 8 round, right? So usually it's a 10-9. 10-8s are, I mean, they're becoming more popular, but a little bit more rare. I mean, more rare. A little bit. They're not as common, but there's you can see the significance between a 10-8 and a 10-9. Point deduction, all this stuff. Okay. Was it effective? This is what I'm saying. Was it effective? Threatening the guard, scoring points while on your back. Was effective? Aggressiveness. So this right here, was it an active? I thought it said effective. I'm going crazy. I'm just trying to catch up from what I was rambling on about for about 12 or 13 minutes. I'm so freaking sorry, guys. If we weren't live, I'd edit that out, but oh well. Anyway, we're going to keep this going. So, what is effective aggressiveness? Yeah. So, anyway, okay. Handling a loud crowd. So, basically right here, this concentration, handling a loud crowd, dealing with the hometown favorite, how to break 5-minute round. This, dealing with the hometown favorite, I think is going to be a little bit different. I think that should be under security or the commission rather than the judges. Because the hometown might actually hate the other fighter. You just never know. So I think it's more security and whatever. Handling a loud crowd, I'll go back over that in just a second, how to break down a 5-minute round. So the 5-minute rounds, basically is going to be the biases, the scorecard, the striking, grappling, all that stuff, right? So see, what if I see a foul that a referee did not call? This is where I said this. It's a bunch of bullshit. You should be able to dock a point if it's deemed necessary, but unfortunately not able to. What if I didn't think it was a foul, but the referee called it? You might have just been in the wrong position. Usually it is a foul. We'll leave it at that. What if I thought it was a slip and the referee called that it was a knockdown? Again, that could be the position of the ref. That could be position of you. That really could go either way. So handling a crowd, we're going to go over this again, right? So if I don't know, I haven't been to a fight. I really want to go to one, but I think handling that crowd, I think the best thing to do would be the judges wear headphones, right? You're going to silence everybody out. I want a whole spiel about soccer and how I already said all this about how you can't really hear the crowd or whatever or anything like that. So it's not really too concerning about focusing on the fight. Again, especially if you have headsets and you're able to talk between the judges, I think that's going to be, I'm not sure if they do that or not, and if they don't, they probably should implement it, because one, that's going to help them concentrate on the fight, drown out the crowd a little bit, and be able to have more conversation and more, I think, closer and a better scoring card, right? Especially if there's something questionable, if the judge did not see something that happened, or a different judge got a different angle, like, hey, did he hit that? Did he actually hit him with the knee, or did he miss it? Because from my angle, it looked like he hit. Two judges like, nah, it didn't. Don't count it, right? Okay. Need for Speed, baby. Guys, I am so terribly sorry about rambling on for like 18 minutes without having the mic on. I thought I pressed the button. That's on me. Thank you so much for being here. Let me ramble on about the rules. I do really appreciate it. I will be going back through doing one about fouls and getting into all the details about the fouls and what all that stuff is, right? So I think that's going to be the next one, and then I think we will probably start breaking down fights, which I'm very, very excited for. Unfortunately, I'm not able to stream the fights. I'll have to figure out how to I'll be studying them. What I might even do is just have it off to my third one of the monitors, right? Play it on mute, watch the fight, kind of talk through you guys. Through it with you guys. I might have to buy another camera for that, or I might just switch them around. We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching. I'm so sorry. This is the first one. We're gonna get better than this, guys. Stick around, like and subscribe, and you know what? Tell someone you love them. Make sure that you think about this when your favorite fighter is fighting. Try to take a step back. Think about it, right? Think about it from a judge's perspective and see how much different that outcome comes. I've watched a few fights. I've gone back and forth about four or five times about who won. So that's kind of why I'm going to get this through, is kind of go through, break it down, everything, get everything going. I'm just rambling at this point, but break it down every fight. See who you think wins, see who I thought wins, see if it's the same, see if it's different, see if I missed something, or you missed something, or whoever missed something, the judge missed something, right? See what the different outcome would have been if we were able to watch it on replay, and the judges could watch it before the 4 minutes that they have to give them the card, right? Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it very, very, very much. Again, please like and subscribe. I would love it. I'm on and I will catch you next time. Peace.